Hello and welcome to Halftime Report. I'm Nigel D'Souza and with me is Surabhi Upadhyay. Well, Surabhi, the markets are down a little bit. The mid-cap index is still holding in the green, but it's been very, very volatile in this 150, 200-point range or thereabouts. As we saw in the last hour of trade yesterday, we were down, and then, in fact, we had a bit of recovery as well. So all is not lost, even though we're down 40, 50 points.
Choppy, indecisive, not quite sure. And that's how I think the picture has been across Asia as well. And generally, we're not getting very clear, big directional moves, even in Asia. And the Nifty is kind of muddling along as well. That's the chart. It's really in a 80-point odd band, 80 to 90-point band. And it's been flip-flopping all over the place today. So let's get started. Good time to run you through the headlines at noon. Stocks choppy in a narrow band as US stimulus talks stretch. Pharma and autos drag the most, though weakness is across sectors. Mid-caps fare slightly better than large caps.
Let's focus on a couple of pharma names then. Dr. Reddy's recouped some of its morning losses after the company confirms that they have detected a cyber attack, but their plants are not shut. Says all services will be up and running in the next 24 hours. Aurobindo Pharma declines today after receiving a US FDA warning letter for its New Jersey unit.
Another round of interest rate cuts by home financiers and a marquee office rental deal by DLF provide the necessary impetus for an up move in real estate stocks.
And Asian Paints is expected to report a good quarter with domestic volume growth seen between 7 to around 8%, while two-wheeler major Bajaj Auto is expected to report a subdued quarter with revenues declining 6% as per a CNBC TV 18 poll.
Well, as we told you in the headlines, pharma is definitely making it to the news. Two companies in focus. Aurobindo, where the issue is a little more serious in terms of some of the FDA problems. And Dr. Reddy's, where we got to know there is a data breach. So let's go across to Sonal to get more details on both the companies. Sonal?
Thanks a lot for that, Surabhi. Well, yes, let me start with Dr. Reddy's. The stock has seen a sharp recovery from the lows around 4.5%. And that is because the company clarified to morning reports that there has been a data breach at the company. And the report also suggested that all their plants are shut because of that data breach. Now they have clarified that, yes, there is a breach and they have isolated all data center services, but they expect all services to be up and running in next 24 hours. And they do not expect any severe impact on the operations because of this shutdown that they are seeing. However, the most important clarification was the fact that they said that all their plants are up and running. There has been no impact of this data breach on the plant functioning. And that's why we are seeing this sharp recovery from the lows. The stock was down around 4% early in the morning. Now it's down just 1% odd. Moving on to Aurobindo Pharma, that stock has taken a rather severe knock in trade today because the company informed the exchanges that their New Jersey plant has received a warning letter from the US FDA. Do remember in June, this was classified as official action indicated in the month of June, and the company says that existing business from New Jersey facility will not be impacted so much. 2% of the overall revenues for this particular company come in from the New Jersey facility. Maybe the street is worried about the fact that while the existing operations will not be impacted so much, the future approvals for this facility will stop for a small period of time. That is till the time this issue is resolved, and maybe that is why the street is scared and the stock is down 5% in trade today.
Okay, some negative news coming in for pharma majors, and that's weighing actually on the overall pack as well. There's just been profit taking, and that's been the order of the month of October, not just today. Pharma has taken a bit of a backseat, at least for now, after the humongous rally. Let's move on to the next stock on our radar, and Vedanta makes it once again to the list. This time around, because of the fact that they're looking to pay out a dividend, now that the buyback's not happening, at least dividend will come shareholders' way?
Well, that's right. You know, Surabhi, late last night, we had an announcement came on the exchanges that Vedanta, yes, the board is going to be meeting this Saturday, and hopefully they're going to come out with a sizable dividend. At least that's the hope, and that's why the stock is up in today's trading session. They're going to be considering an interim dividend, and the record date as well they've given as October 31st. Now, we can't speculate in terms of what the promoter is thinking, and no one can really guess the promoter, but we can go with facts. So we have a couple of data points with us. One of them is that Hindustan Zinc, they have declared a dividend of around 21 rupees 30 paise. Now, if Vedanta has to pay out all of what they receive as dividend, then that equates to nearly around 15 rupees 70 paise. If that happens, I think shareholders will be reasonably happy. But for now, we are unsure about that. Remember, Vedanta has received 2 dividends. This is the second dividend that they've received in this financial year itself. So suppose they are very generous and they say all the dividend that we have received from Hindustan Zinc, let's pay all of that out, which is likely to be will be a big surprise if it does come through. Then it equates to nearly around 27 rupees 90 paise for Vedanta shareholders. So we'll keep an eye out on this. As of now, the street is hoping that it's going to be a big dividend payout, and that's why the stock is up in today's trading session.
Okay, so not delisting, but at least a dividend perhaps
Yes.
should come through, a decent one on that. Nigel, one more stock. Actually, all of your cement companies are coming out with great performance. What about Sagar? What do the numbers say here?
Well, Sagar Cement's numbers look splendid. They look very, very good. It has exposure primarily to Andhra Pradesh and Telangana, and these numbers look good. Any which ways you're looking at it, we're expecting a volume decline. Actually, few analysts that cover it, they said that because volumes are not really picking up in South India, maybe there'll be a volume decline. That as well didn't happen. There was a growth of close to around 2%. Revenue from operations, there was a big surge out there, but what really catches your eye is when in the single quarter they do more than 100 crores of operating profit. It's not happened in the last many years, and margins of around 32% or thereabouts. Guess what? The profit number moves from 5 to around 50 crore rupees. And if you just want to put that numbers into context, Surbhi, in the first half of this year, what they have done in terms of EBITDA is more than what they did in the entire of last year in terms of EBITDA. And that's why the street likes it. Remember, the stock is up nearly around 3 times from the lows that we saw earlier today. But yet it trades at around $45 per ton on an expanded capacity. And in the next couple of years, they'll have some exposure to central India as well. So it gives them some exposure to the Madhya Pradesh, Uttar Pradesh, the Odisha markets as well. And that's why it has some valuation comfort. And that's what's got, a lot of these smaller companies in South India buzzing. And that stock is holding higher even after seeing such big gains.
Oh, I mean, what a move. And every time it's very heartening, at least for me, when I hear of cement volumes going up. Pricing, of course, is a market play.
Yeah.
But if volumes are going up, then there's something ticking in the real economy. And that sounds absolutely great.
Well, let's get our viewers a conversation that we had earlier today after that strong showing from cement companies in the past quarter. Remember, ACC, Ultratech, both of them delivered splendid numbers. Now, from which segments had this growth coming? Is the growth sustainable? What should we be looking out for the second half of this year? We had one of the big names that joined us earlier today, Mr. Srinivasan, the MD of India Cements. Let's listen in to what he had to tell us.
If you take North India and Central Zone and East, there is not much addition to capacity at all in the last so many years. So the growth in demand is being met by the same quantity of cement produced. So at the moment, the demand supply equation is in favor of the producer in North, Central and Eastern India. West was ravaged by the COVID. See, West is primarily Maharashtra, you see, occupies center stage. Now slowly things are getting back to normal. So I expect that over the next few months, and this is a busy season, once the rains stop, post Diwali, you will see an improvement in demand in Maharashtra also. Demand per se, South will do well. But the capacity overhang in South, the capacity utilization will go up little slowly. But it will go up. It will, see, for example, there is activity in Kerala, Karnataka is okay, Andhra, Telangana is good, Tamil Nadu. So all the 5 states are contributing to demand. The state governments of Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, have extensive programs which are contributing to cement demand. Particularly the government of Andhra Pradesh is so proactive that the capacity utilization of our plant in the Andhra part of Andhra, Telangana is quite good.
Well, Mr. Srinivasan was stressing a lot about Andhra Pradesh and Telangana, and Sagar Cement's numbers as well are good. And that's why you're seeing other stocks like a Deccan Cement, a KCP, and NCL. They have exposure primarily to both those 2 geographies. And the strong commentary that came in from the management of India Cements as well explains why those stocks as well are holding higher with some gains today.
Okay, that's a green-looking screen on cement stocks, particularly the ones that operate in the south, Andhra and Telangana. That's our takeaway, as Nigel explained. They are really firing up those markets for now. Well, on that note, we have to take a quick break. But before we do that, here is some good news. Money Control Pro is partnering with Financial Times, which will enable you to access global financial news from one of the most respected and important business news organizations. Subscribe now to Money Control Pro and read the best of Financial Times with your MC Pro subscription.